There's a moment every night when your eyes close and reality begins to dissolve. A silent shift, a fading of the world you know, and the opening of another. You felt it, the dream that felt more real than waking life. The place you'd never seen, but somehow remembered. What if that wasn't a dream, but a journey? What if sleep isn't the end of awareness, but the doorway to something greater? For centuries, mystics have whispered this truth, that the dream world is not fantasy, but a map, a portal, a hidden realm the ancients once navigated. To heal, to awaken, to connect. Modern science shrugs it off, but the evidence keeps appearing. The visions, the synchronicities, the impossible knowledge from beyond. So tonight, we cross the threshold together and unlock the secret world, just beyond the dream. If you're ready to explore the hidden realms of your own consciousness, like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and share this message with someone who's had a dream they can't explain. Because what you're about to discover might just change how you sleep and how you awaken. Chapter 1. Ancient Knowledge of the Dream World. Before science charted the brainwaves of sleep, ancient civilizations already knew dreams were sacred. To the Egyptians, Greeks, Indians, and shamans, dreams were not illusions or idle imaginings. They were doorways to hidden realms, spiritual maps of the soul's journey. As the body rested, consciousness wandered, meeting gods, ancestors, and spirits. Every dream was a message. Every night, a voyage into the unseen cosmos. The Egyptians saw dreams as divine communiques from the gods, offering warnings, blessings, and sacred knowledge. Pharaohs relied on dream interpreters, and those seeking answers would sleep in special dream temples under the stars, awaiting visions sent by Thoth or Isis. These were not fantasies, they were soul encounters, deeply real. The waking world was only half the truth. The rest was hidden behind closed eyes. In ancient Greece, the dream world was governed by Morpheus, Hypnos, and Oneiroi, the gods of dreams and sleep. Pilgrims would travel to the temples of Asclepius, the god of healing, to dream intentionally. Known as incubation, this practice invited visions through sacred sleep. Dreamers would lie in silence, surrounded by serpents and statues, waiting for the divine to whisper through their subconscious, unveiling paths to healing. The Vedic seers of India described 3 states: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, each a layer of reality. The dream state, Swapna, was not a lesser realm but a mirror of the soul's karma and desires. Yogis entered dreams consciously, transforming symbols into spiritual lessons. Dreams could purify, awaken, and guide the soul toward liberation. Night was not a passive state. It was a cosmic classroom for the seeking mind. Indigenous shamans across the Americas, Africa, and Siberia held dreams as sacred visions, tools for healing, hunting, prophecy, and protection. Through rituals, herbs, and trance, they entered dream realms at will, communing with ancestors, spirit animals, and elemental forces. The dream world was not fantasy, but sacred geography. Every tree, mountain, and creature held meaning. To dream was to travel beyond the veil of this world. Dreams were maps, and every symbol was a landmark. A staircase could mean ascension, a storm could signal inner turmoil, a door might offer rebirth. These ancient cultures knew that decoding dream symbols was decoding the self. The soul spoke in metaphor, in story, in image, and those who could interpret these signs became guides, not just for themselves, but for entire tribes and civilizations seeking clarity from the beyond. Rather than dismissing dreams as random brain static, the ancients revered them as a second life. What if this world was the dream, and the dream world was real? Plato hinted at this inversion, proposing that the soul remembers eternal truths through visions. The Orphics believed sleep was a rehearsal for death, a nightly return to divine origins. Dreams weren't illusions. They were fragments of a higher, hidden reality. Across time, the veil between worlds was considered thinnest during sleep. Lucid dreams, where the dreamer becomes aware, were prized states of awakening. Tibetan Buddhists trained in dream yoga to stay conscious in dreams, preparing for the afterlife. They believed mastering the dream meant mastering death. To dream lucidly was to know you are not just the body, you are awareness itself, infinite and luminous. In these ancient traditions, dreaming wasn't something that happened to you. It was a skill, a practice, a sacred art. Initiates would journal their dreams, perform rituals, and invoke protectors before sleep. Every detail mattered. The position of the bed, the phase of the moon, the oils burned. Sleep became ceremony. The night was an altar, and the dreamer, a pilgrim walking among stars and spirits. The ancients knew something we've forgotten, that the dream world is a parallel reality where choices carry weight, emotions crystallize, and transformation begins. A healing in a dream could ripple into waking life. A warning in a vision could prevent catastrophe. The barrier between sleep and waking was porous. What happened in the dream could echo across lifetimes. Nothing was imagined, everything was encoded. We've traded our myths for science, our rituals for routine, but in doing so, we've lost the magic of dreaming. Today, we dismiss what our ancestors worshipped. Visions dismissed as nonsense, meanings forgotten. Yet the dream world still waits, untouched, just beneath the surface of sleep. The sacred paths are still there, the gods still whisper, and every night we are invited to return to the temple of the soul. So tonight, as you lay your head to rest, remember, the dream world is not empty, it is ancient, alive and waiting for you. Close your eyes not to escape, but to arrive. Step beyond time. Walk where your ancestors walked. Listen to what the soul has hidden beneath the noise. Dream not as a distraction, but as a sacred journey. This is not sleep. This is remembering who you truly are. Chapter 2. Science, Consciousness, and the Unexplainable. The mystery of dreams once belonged to mystics, but now scientists step into the inner void. Freud saw dreams as distorted reflections of suppressed desire, a theater of personal neurosis. Jung peered deeper, uncovering a collective unconscious filled with ancient symbols and universal archetypes. As technology evolved, so did our gaze into the mind. But the essence of dreaming remained beyond formula. Something deeper was speaking through the veil of sleep. Machines began to record our slumber, EEG waves, REM cycles, brain maps glowing like constellations. Science could trace the mechanics of a dream, its pulse, its rhythm, but not its purpose. The soul of the dream eluded capture. How could electrical signals craft a vivid world of memory, prophecy, and meaning? Why do some dreams heal, while others haunt us for a lifetime? The dream world refused to be reduced to circuitry. Then came Robert Monroe, businessman turned astral explorer. Through out-of-body experiences, he charted non-physical dimensions with military precision. His recordings were not hallucinations, but consistent, structured encounters beyond time and space. Through sound technology, Monroe guided thousands to leave their bodies. His legacy asked a radical question. If we can exist beyond the body in dreams, is the brain truly the source of consciousness? Quantum science began echoing mysticism. Particles existing in multiple states, the observer effect bending reality, entanglement linking minds across distances. If consciousness influences matter, could dreaming be a quantum phenomenon? Neuroscientists like Penrose and Hameroff proposed that consciousness might arise from quantum activity inside neurons. Was the dream state not chaos, but coherence with a hidden order? The veil between science and spirit began to thin. Lucid dreaming offered a portal, proof we could awaken within the dream. In this state, awareness blooms inside illusion. The dreamer becomes creator, shifting landscapes and bending physics. Studies showed changes in brain function during lucidity. But what sparked this control? Could waking up inside a dream mirror, awakening inside life itself? Were we more than witnesses to sleep? Perhaps in dreams, we rehearse becoming conscious beyond illusion. DMT, nature's spirit molecule, triggered dreamlike voyages of startling depth. In controlled studies, volunteers described otherworldly realms, beings, teachings. Unlike dreams, these visions shared uncanny similarities across cultures. Were these archetypes or actual encounters? The pineal gland, long considered the seat of the soul, may be a gateway to dream consciousness. Through altered states, science was rediscovering the sacred terrain it once abandoned. NDEs, near-death experiences, presented yet another rupture in the materialist worldview. Individuals reported vivid journeys while clinically dead, tunnels of light, life reviews, timeless love. Their brains inactive, yet awareness expanded. These experiences mirrored dream logic, symbolic, luminous, transcendent. Could the dream state be a rehearsal for death? Was the mind a receiver of consciousness rather than its origin? The questions multiplied like stars in the void. Dreams began to look less like brain noise and more like messages, encoded in metaphor, emotion, and light. Military programs like Project Stargate explored remote viewing, finding that consciousness could gather data across time and distance. Was the dreamer also a seer? Could the dream act as a dimensional lens, a mode of intelligence untethered from space? Behind the closed eyes of sleep, ancient abilities stirred awake in scientific labs. Then came the discoveries in heart intelligence, neural networks in the heart and gut, capable of memory and intuition. The body, it seemed, was more than a vessel. In dreams, emotions often override logic. Perhaps the language of dreams is not linear, but vibrational, transmitted through feeling and symbol. Science was beginning to map what sages had long intuited, that wisdom flows not just from the mind, but from the entire being. Artificial intelligence began interpreting dreams, feeding vast databases into neural nets. Yet even the most advanced programs failed to grasp the soul of the dream. What machine could understand the ache of a lost parent or the ecstasy of flying? Dreams are art, not code. Mystery, not mechanism. The frontier of science was no longer just outer space. It was the inner cosmos where reason and reverence must walk hand in hand. From shamans to scientists, the consensus grew. Dreams matter. They reveal the unseen architecture of the self, hint at parallel lives, and blur the lines between waking and sleeping. Neuroscience now tiptoes toward mysticism, where empirical data meets mythic resonance. The dream is not a glitch, it is a glimpse. And in studying it, we do not dissect illusions, but rediscover a lost dimension of human existence. In the end, the dream world may be the missing key to understanding consciousness itself, not just as neurons firing, but as awareness transcending flesh. As evidence mounts, the lines blur between spirit and science, mystic and researcher. The dream calls to both hemispheres of humanity, the seeker and the scholar. And maybe, just maybe, in that luminous realm behind closed eyes, we awaken to who and what we truly are. Chapter 3. Lucid Dreams, Astral Projection and Soul Travel. What if sleep was not an escape, but a threshold, a secret doorway into vast realms waiting behind the veil? Lucid dreams open this portal, allowing us to wake within the dream, free to explore consciously. These inner worlds are vivid, radiant, more real than waking life, built from pure awareness. Ancient mystics and modern minds agree. The dream is sacred. Each night, we cross into mystery. Most never notice. Lucidity begins with awareness, the sudden knowing, this is a dream. In that instant, the rules dissolve. Gravity fades, intention sculpts reality. You fly, revisit memories, speak to spirits, or step into vast landscapes of thought. The dream reveals itself as a mirror, a gateway, a message. Lucid dreaming is the soul remembering its power, an ancient language of creation spoken once again. Go deeper, and dreams shift into out-of-body journeys. The astral projection begins. You feel vibrations, a hum, then weightlessness. Suddenly, you're floating above your sleeping body, fully aware. Freed from flesh, you drift through walls, over cities, into light-soaked realms. Many describe sacred halls, spirit mentors, or radiant loved ones. These are not hallucinations. They are consciousness unbound. Long before science, the ancients knew this. Egyptians called it the Ba soul in flight. Hindus mapped subtle bodies crossing cosmic planes. Tibetan dream yogis practiced conscious sleep through death itself. They taught that the soul is a traveler and the body a temporary vessel. Today, those teachings return, discovered not in temples, but in dreams, by those brave enough to stay aware. Robert Monroe was one of the first to bridge mysticism and science. A skeptic at first, he experienced dozens of spontaneous out-of-body states that changed his life. Through sound frequencies, he developed methods to help others reach the same dimensions. His maps of consciousness echoed ancient visions, realms of light, spirit guides, and the higher self. His work still echoes in modern spiritual research. In lucid dreams and astral realms, travelers often find doorways, mirrors, tunnels, staircases. Passing through, they reach landscapes unlike anything on Earth. Crystal cities, glowing temples, cosmic libraries. Strangely, these visions repeat across cultures and eras, as if shared by all souls. They're not just dreams, they're archetypal realms shaped by something deeper than thought. Within them, messages, tests, truths. Yet not all is light. Before revelation comes challenge. Guardians appear as fears, shadows, collapsing dreams. But these forms are not enemies, they are symbols, reflections of inner doubt. The dream tests you. Those who face the fear often find it vanish, replaced by peace. To master fear in the dream is to master it in life. Each challenge is a mirror asking, are you ready to wake? Lucid dreaming and astral travel require practice. It begins with intention, keeping a journal, remembering dreams, questioning reality during the day. Techniques like wake back to bed or sound meditation help deepen entry, but beyond methods lies trust. You must surrender. These aren't hacks. They're sacred tools to navigate your soul. You're not just sleeping, you're learning to awaken from within. Many travelers speak of contact, beings of light, ancestors, or formless intelligences who speak through silence. They offer insights, ask questions, or simply radiate presence. These moments change you, not because of what you saw, but how deeply you felt seen. These aren't fantasies, they're archetypal encounters built into the fabric of human consciousness, waiting to be remembered. Science is now catching up. Neurologists monitor lucid dreamers via fMRI, revealing brain activity that mimics waking action. Some dreamers even answer questions with pre-agreed eye movements during REM sleep. What was myth is now measurable, but no scan explains the wonder, the shared symbols, or how minds access the same luminous worlds. Consciousness remains the great unknown frontier. These journeys aren't escapes, they're deeper entries into reality. Lucid dreams offer messages, astral realms offer evolution. You become the mapmaker, the traveler, and the message itself. These aren't fantasies, they're reflections of your own multi-dimensional self. You learn to shape reality not with hands, but with thought and clarity. You awaken to the truth. You were never only this body. So tonight, when silence returns and the veil thins, remember this: you are more than this day. Set your intention, invite clarity, As your eyes close, your spirit stirs, and if you're ready, you will awaken not in a bed, but among the stars. This is your call. Each night is a doorway, each dream a map. Close your eyes and travel beyond the body into the soul's true home. Chapter 4. The future of dreaming, AI, brain tech, and shared realities. For millennia, dreams were viewed as mystical, private journeys into the soul. Today, that inner realm is becoming accessible through science. With advances in neuroimaging, brainwave mapping, and AI interpretation, we are starting to decode the sleeping mind. Each night, a hidden universe unfolds inside us, and now, for the first time in history, we may have the technology to explore that universe with precision, meaning, and even collaboration. Brain-computer interfaces like Neuralink are being designed to translate thoughts into code, but what if they could translate dreams? Researchers are already using machine learning to analyze REM patterns and reconstruct visual elements from brain scans. If the architecture of a dream can be mapped, perhaps it can be mirrored, streamed, or even projected. The boundary between sleep and simulation is thinning fast. Imagination may soon become a shareable experience. In cutting-edge labs from Tokyo to Berkeley, scientists have recreated fragments of dreams using fMRI and AI. Abstract visuals, faces, animals, lights have been rebuilt from brainwave data alone. This opens doors to questions we never dared to ask. Could dreams be edited like videos, enhanced for clarity, scripted in advance? If so, dreaming may become the next immersive medium, a stage where the mind becomes the director, actor, and audience all at once. Lucid dreaming states display unique neural signatures, gamma bursts, synchronized theta waves, and high cognitive awareness. What if these rhythms could be replicated across multiple brains simultaneously? Studies in neural resonance suggest that inter-brain syncing might be possible. This could allow two individuals to enter a shared dream space, a kind of multiplayer subconscious experience where private symbols meet in a co-created reality within sleep. New wearable EEG devices don't just monitor sleep, they guide it. Through subtle pulses of sound, light, or electromagnetic fields, these tools can induce lucid states, steer dream themes, and amplify creative insight. We're moving from passive dreamers to active architects. With precision tech, a person could one day design their own subconscious adventure, navigate it with intention, and even revisit it, turning every night's sleep into a custom inner voyage. Artificial intelligence is rapidly learning the symbolic language of dreams. By analyzing millions of dream reports, machine learning models detect recurring motifs: falling, flying, portals, shadows. These archetypes, once explored by Jung, are now filtered through digital logic. Given enough data, an AI could eventually predict your dream based on mood and memory, or generate custom dream narratives tailored to your emotional needs or inner conflicts. Brain-to-brain communication is moving from theory into experimentation. In controlled environments, researchers have synchronized brainwaves between people using neurofeedback and shared stimuli. If this evolves, two dreamers might enter a kind of neural entanglement, witnessing each other's visions, merging stories, and building surreal worlds together. Such experiences would blur the line between personal consciousness and collective imagination. Imagine a therapy where a client and psychologist meet inside a dreamscape tailored for healing. Trauma could be addressed not just through words, but through symbolic action within a shared inner world. Or imagine long-distance lovers reunited nightly in lucid dreams synced by tech. These experiences could become emotional lifelines, customized, meaningful, and neurologically real. This is not centuries away. It's being tested in prototype form today. With dream recording and transmission come serious ethical questions. If your dreams can be viewed, who owns them? Could they be sold, manipulated, or stolen? Could corporations target your subconscious with ads while you sleep? Could governments monitor internal thought patterns? As technology invades the sacred privacy of the dream world, humanity must define new boundaries, ethical frameworks to protect the soul from exploitation. Ancient mystics believed that dreams were gateways to higher realms, portals to other dimensions. Science is now catching up, creating tools that may finally bridge the gap between inner and outer reality. As neuroscience, AI, and consciousness research converge, they hint at something profound, that the mind is not a closed box, but a channel, and that through dreams we may access hidden layers of truth that have long evaded our waking grasp. Shared dreaming could become a new art form beyond books, films, or games. Imagine collectives of dreamers crafting vast, surreal narratives together inside lucid space. These stories wouldn't just be consumed, they'd be lived, shaped in real time by emotional resonance. Entire civilizations of the mind could emerge in sleep. The barriers between fiction and memory, inner and outer, may dissolve into a single, multi-dimensional dream reality. As we approach this frontier, a final question lingers: are we the last generation to dream alone? Technology promises wonders, but it also challenges what it means to be human. If our dreams can be decoded, shared, or rewritten, we must protect their sacredness. The future of dreaming is not just about neuroscience, it's about identity, intimacy, and the soul itself. What we discover in the dream world may transform how we understand reality forever. Chapter 5. Crossing the Portal. Techniques for Dream Exploration. Crossing the threshold into the dream world begins with intention. Before sleep, quiet your mind, breathe deeply, and plant a clear seed. Tonight, I will remember and explore. This sacred act primes your subconscious, transforming passive sleep into active journey. Each night is a portal. Open it with purpose, and the hidden realms will unfold before you, vivid and alive. Reality checks are the keys that unlock lucidity. Throughout your day, question your surroundings. Ask, am I dreaming? Pinch your nose and try to breathe, glance at clocks for shifting time, or read words twice. These simple rituals train your mind to recognize the dream state. Over time, they become second nature, and the dream world reveals its secrets. Dream journaling is the bridge between worlds. Upon waking, capture every detail: colors, emotions, symbols, people. This practice sharpens your recall and tunes your subconscious to the language of dreams. Over days and weeks, patterns emerge. Recurring symbols become guides, doorways to deeper insight. Your dream journal is the map you will follow on your nightly voyages. Symbols in dreams speak a universal language. A key may mean unlocking knowledge. Water can symbolize emotions, while a staircase suggests spiritual ascent. Learning to interpret these symbols awakens your intuition. The dream world is a living canvas, where every image pulses with meaning. Recognize the signs, and you navigate with wisdom rather than confusion. Mindfulness in waking life strengthens your dream awareness. When you cultivate presence, observing your thoughts and sensations without judgment, you train your mind to awaken within sleep. Meditation, breathing exercises, and moments of stillness create the fertile soil for lucid dreaming. Awareness is the golden thread weaving waking and dreaming into one continuous journey. The wake back to bed technique heightens your chances of lucidity. Set an alarm 4 to 6 hours after sleep begins. Stay awake briefly to focus on your intention, then return to sleep consciously. This interrupts the normal cycle, increasing REM sleep density when vivid dreams flourish. It's a delicate balance. Patience and practice unlock this powerful doorway. Visualization before sleep acts as a beacon for your dreaming mind. Imagine yourself entering a door, flying through clouds, or meeting a guide. Paint your desired dream with as much sensory detail as possible. Sounds, textures, emotions. This mental rehearsal directs your subconscious, creating a dream script that your mind eagerly performs once you drift into slumber. Recognize the dream state by its fluid logic. In dreams, physics bend, time folds, and identity shifts. When you notice the impossible, you know you are dreaming. This sudden clarity, lucidity, is a doorway to power. You become the author of your dream, sculpting landscapes, summoning allies, and facing fears with courage. The dream is your playground and your teacher. Fear often arises in dreams, but it's a guide, not a barrier. When shadows loom or chaos erupts, breathe deeply and remind yourself, this is your creation. Approach the fear with curiosity, transform it by changing the scene or calling forth light. Each confrontation strengthens your inner resilience, dissolving waking anxieties and illuminating your true nature. Dream guides, wise, radiant beings, may appear when you open fully. They offer messages, lessons, or silent companionship. Approach them with respect and openness. Their presence confirms the depth of your journey beyond ordinary consciousness. Trust their wisdom, and you'll receive insights that ripple into your waking life, igniting transformation beyond sleep. Technology offers new tools, but the essence remains inner work. Apps for dream journaling, binaural beats to entrain brainwaves, or virtual reality simulations can support your path. However, the true portal opens when your heart aligns with your mind, when intention, awareness, and surrender coalesce. The dream world is sacred space. Honor it with reverence. Every night you sleep, the portal awaits, an invitation to explore, heal, and awaken. Your dream practice is a sacred pilgrimage, a dance between worlds. As you grow skilled, you'll discover dreams are not just illusions, but mirrors, gateways, and teachers. Step boldly into the mystery, for on the other side lies the vast, uncharted universe of your own soul. Every night, we lay our heads and surrender to the unknown. We drift into invisible worlds, beyond time, beyond reason, where the laws of physics dissolve and the soul is free. But most wake up forgetting, as if nothing happened. What if every dream was a message, a symbol, a call from your deeper self, patiently waiting to be heard? Lucid dreamers, mystics, and travelers of the unseen have long claimed that the dream world is not illusion, but initiation, a sacred rehearsal for death, a realm where consciousness trains for higher existence. So we must ask, are we just resting, or are we journeying into a forgotten dimension every night? Inside dreams, we meet versions of ourselves we deny. We see the echoes of unresolved memories and the seeds of future destinies. The veil lifts, and for a moment, we remember who we are beyond the body. These aren't fantasies, they're keys. If used with awareness, they unlock a deeper truth. We are more than the waking mind. So the question remains, where do you go when you sleep? What ancient door do you pass through? And who guides you from behind the scenes? As brainwaves shift and your body sleeps, your consciousness may be stepping into realms where past, present, and future blur into pure awareness. If you've ever woken up with tears, with joy, or with the eerie feeling of having returned, you've touched the edge of something sacred. Don't ignore it. Document your dreams, look for patterns, ask questions inside the dream. Because one day, you may not just dream, you may awaken within the dream. Every night is a doorway most walk through and forget, but a few remember. They become explorers of inner worlds, mapping the unseen, bringing light to the hidden corners of the soul. If this journey lit a spark within you, share it. Subscribe to keep exploring the mysteries of the soul. Turn on notifications and join us at the next threshold. Like the video if you felt the calling. This is only the beginning.